Hello, it's time for a story. Now, this is one of my favourite books. It's called Alfie, the Big Alfie Out of Doors Storybook. And it's made by this author, Shirley Hughes. Have you ever heard of her? She has made lots and lots of storybooks. She's amazing because she makes all the illustrations as well. Can you say that word? Illustrations. You try. Ready? Illustrations. That's just another word for pictures. So Shirley Hughes writes the story and she draws the illustrations. Now, I'm just going to move the camera so you can see the pictures more clearly. Here we go. This is the story we're going to read from the book. It's called Shop. Now, in this story, Alfie, who's this boy here, he and his sister, Annie Rose, who is here, use some things that they find to make a shop. While we're reading the story, you might get some ideas for a way that you can make a pretend shop. Here we go. In Alfie's back garden, there was a big bush. You could lift up a curtain of leaves and walk inside. It was a private place. One afternoon, Mum gave Alfie a long cardboard box to play with. He took it into the bush and put it down on its side. It made a really good counter for a shop. A counter is the place where you go to pay at the shop. And look, I can see Alfie's mum and Alfie's grandma. Look, this must be the bush where you can lift up to go inside. Let's turn the page, find out what happens next. Then Alfie and Annie Rose looked around the garden for something to sell in the shop. They found plenty of things lying about. Flower petals, seed pods, acorn cups, and lots of different kinds of leaves. Can you see them? Look at all those different shapes and colours. They laid them out on the counter using some very big leaves as plates. They pretended they had vegetables and crisps and sweets and ice cream in their shop. Not the kind you can really eat, of course. And toys too. When everything was nicely arranged, Alfie decided that what the shop needed now was some money. He fetched a little brown box with a lid, and they collected lots of flat greenish yellow seeds which rattled around inside like real money. I love Shirley Hughes's pictures. Look at them. Mum and Grandma were sitting in the garden having a cup of tea. Look, can you see them? Alfie asked them if they were coming in to buy something at the shop. Yes, of course, said Grandma. But what's the name of your shop? Is it the Alfie and Annie Rose General Stores? No, said Alfie. It's called Lewis Burrows and Company. He knew that there was a proper shop called that in the High Street. Alfie put on his peaked cap. That's this bit here. The bit sticking out is the peak. Alfie put on his peaked cap to open up the shop, and Annie Rose wore an apron to be Mr. Lewis Burrows' lady assistant. She's looking very proud, isn't she, to be part of this game. Oh, I need to be careful with my fingers and thumb to just turn over one page, don't I? There we are. Then Grandma and Mum came by to do some shopping. First they bought cabbages and ice cream. Then they brought lettuce and crisps and a model helicopter and a doll's tea set. Mr. Lewis Burrows took the money and counted out the change, and his assistant handed things over the counter. The shop stayed open all afternoon. When it was time to go indoors, Mum made a notice and fixed it with a piece of string so that Alfie could hang it up outside the shop. Can you see the sign? Look. On one side it said, open. But when you turned it round, it said, closed. Even Mr. Lewis Burrows has to go to bed sometimes, I expect, said Mum. Oh, look. Can you see the closed sign there on the shop? There. And I think that might be the apron and the peaked cap left on the floor. I hope they don't leave it out overnight. It might go a bit soggy. Oh, that's the end of the story. In this book, there are lots of different stories and poems, one after the other. What do you think this one might be about? I think it might be about trees too. We'll read it another time. It's time for me to go now. Bye-bye.